Okay, here's this next one.
Yeah.
Subject says, subheaders in the personal statement. Hi, I'm naturally working on my next step of the application process, which is the personal statement. Naturally? One of my best writing tips these days is to do a search for LY space. And if you find LY space in your statement, the odds are very good that I would prefer you cut that out. That's just, LY adjectives and adverbs are awful. Anyway, I've been talking to various friends. I don't like the adjective various there either. You could just say you're talking to friends. People need to get rid of adjectives.
Got a question, Nathan.
I know, but I'm a teacher.
And do you ever listen to the show? This is all we ever do.
No, I never listen to the show ever.
You should hear us read LSAC.
Oh my God.
You should hear us read LSAC's emails, and LSAC and David Fagman, the Dean of Hastings. That's our favorite emails to read.
And you don't like Hastings. That's why. They could say anything and you'd hate it, but go ahead.
Well, no, but you should see Fagman's letters.
Fagman, yeah, there's
epic.
Oh my.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Did you hear about the dean at University of South Carolina who gave out the bar results to the entire student body of who passed and who failed the bar?
Like their names?
Accident?
The names by accident. Got it from the state next and he forwarded it to the whole student body. I'm surprised you guys aren't all over that shit. Anyway, go ahead.
That's public information anyway, though, isn't it?
No, it is not. The names of people who fail the bar is absolutely not public information.
Oh, but the names of people who pass the bar.
Yes, but that's different.
But this is actually naming the people who failed. Wow. Okay.
Anyway, go
awesome.
Go on. Let's hear this lovely person's email that you're tearing apart, not on substance. Go.
People know what they're going to get when they write into the show.
All right. Fair game. Assumption of the risk.
Okay. I've been talking to friends that are already in law school and some that graduated, as well as getting some of my advice from this book called School Lowdown, written by a Harvard Law graduate, Ian E. Scott.
Okay.
It's a Harvard Law graduate, and I liked his advice so far in the book, but when I got to the personal statement section, I saw that he strongly encouraged that we include section headers in our personal statement to ensure clarity when moving from topic to topic.
Topic to topic?
God,
how many topics are we covering?
Oh my God. Okay, not everyone can see my face right now, so I should actually speak.
Yes. I can continue reading, though.
Yes, by all means.
I thought this was pretty weird. I've never seen anyone do it before, and my friend said they'd never heard of that either. However, his reasoning makes some sense. Quote, the headings told the admissions committee that I had answered their questions, as some headings aligned with what Harvard asked to see in the personal statement. Moreover, since any committee will read thousands of applications, it is important to compartmentalize topical areas so a reader can focus on what he or she feels is important. Many readers get bored quickly, so headings keep them focused. That's the advice. I've gathered from your advice on the podcast that law school personal statements are less about seeing how well we narrate the story of our lives and more about just explaining why we want to go to law school and how the last 2 or 3 years of our academic and professional lives have influenced this. So keeping that in mind, the section header advice doesn't seem that absurd. Anyway, I was wondering what you thought of the tactic. The book was also written in 2013, which could make the advice pretty outdated. No, it's just bad advice. But I still thought it would be worthwhile to reach out. Best, what do you think, Anne? Have you ever done section headings in a personal statement?
No.
Are you going to start
That's the
now?
easiest question you guys have ever asked me. Okay, there was 1 or 2 over the last 20 years where I allowed someone to do ellipses between paragraphs, a separator, because I know, like a little asterisk, because it was a really creatively written personal statement, which I don't usually go for, but in this case, it really worked beautifully.
Prologue.
And we needed to separate out some portions where the tone changed, but no, you have 2 pages double spaced for most law schools. That is not a lot of words. If you're wasting 4 of those lines with subheadings, you're wasting an opportunity, 4 lines of sharing something about yourself, to be honest. Like, I can't imagine a situation where I would have someone literally take a prompt that a law school is asking and break it down into pieces like that. I can't imagine a situation where I would advise that. No.
How many different personal statements do you recommend people even have?
No. One personal statement. Sometimes it's different lengths for different schools, but we start with one that's like 3 or 4 pages and we keep cutting the different schools' lengths. We don't change the endings unless a school specifically asks you to change and address why Columbia, you know, why University of Maryland. Otherwise, no, you have one personal statement because they all
really
want to
quick.
know the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, for those why questions, aren't they usually separate essays, or are
Some
they?
schools, no. Columbia, University of Maryland, a few schools ask for it within the personal statement itself. It's not common, but a few schools do.
Okay.
I
And so
think
then you
some
tweak
schools.
the end.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Oh yeah. So you tweak the last paragraph to accommodate
Usually, depending on the school, depending on the person's personal statement, how it's structured, it would be in the conclusion, and therefore law school, and therefore why this law school. And it would go naturally, but I've seen it flipped in reverse, and people start with that and then explain why. And sometimes I've seen it mixed in the middle, like I did this, and I was really impressed to see that this law school offered this that's similar, and then move on. So there's no one way to do it, but most of the time we do it in the conclusion.
Most of the time you don't do it at all.
You only do it if they ask you to.
Right.
Explicitly ask you to.
Let me ask you this. I've seen enough of the prompts that it makes me think that they sometimes accidentally make it look like they want you to talk about their law school, but really all they did was just kind of name drop themselves in their own prompt, and they didn't really mean it. You know, like Golden Gate.
I don't help anyone apply to Golden Gate, but it's very clear to me, University of Maryland, for example, wants you to address why their School of Law. Okay, so yes, I believe in following directions and not infusing my own, oh, they don't really mean it. If they explicitly say address your reasons for applying to Columbia Law School, then I'm going to address Columbia Law School. If they say address your reasons for applying to University of Maryland, I'm going to address that. I'm going to show I paid attention to the instructions. It's also a yield protection thing at many schools. It's
just not believable at a school outside the top 14 or outside the top 25 or whatever. Like, really, UC Hastings College of the Law? You want me to mention UC Hastings College of the Law?
Well,
no
Hastings
way.
doesn't, but Maryland does. And so it's a very good example because it's a public school that they won't understand why someone from Boston or from in New York or California would want to go there if they're not local and they want to know why. Same with Minnesota does this as well in the application. There are a number of schools. Hawaii basically says, have you ever even been to Hawaii or flying here? So yes, I mean, I do feel that's important for those schools that ask it. There's a reason they're asking, and following directions is kind of the number one thing you're being tested on when you're applying to law school. Can you follow directions? Are you responsive to questions? And do you know what facts are relevant? So kind of important things.
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure I've seen prompts where I'm like, they can't possibly, they all they're doing is saying why law school, and they happen to name themselves, and they just don't really actually mean it. I can certainly see, yes, yield protection and Hawaii. There's lots of times where it would make sense, but there's just too many times where it doesn't make any sense. I'll send them to you if I come across them.
All right, cool. I look forward to it.
Okay.